Okay, thanks for everyone's being here. And also at the most beginning, I want to say a big obrigado to Rose Andrew, because this is me, SMM team's first time to be in Brazil, and for all the thoughtful arrangements for the even hotel, the car, or service set visit. So really, thanks for invite us here. So today I think it's a quite special afternoon to gather all the expertise in PRA to being here and talk about. I just learn a lot about different PRA's perspective to the lithium market. So this for my presentation, I will more focus on the Chinese perspective and hope bring more unique color to the lithium market this time. Okay, so before we begin, just a really brief introduction to Shanghai Metals Market. So Shanghai Metals Market is a PRA and also market intelligence, especially in Chinese market. So in China, actually we have great influence and also great connection with most of the Chinese manufacturer in lithium global lithium supply chain, from the ore to the lithium chemical to cathode to downstream OEM and also energy storage manufacturer. We daily make communication with them, reporting the daily price, and also do the weekly and the monthly tracking to the markets about the market analysis, as well as industry data like key data, which will influence the price. For example, production, capacity, cost level, operation rate, etc., to bring a more overall market analysis to global lithium supply chain. So, okay, so at the beginning, I will give a really brief really introduction to the global lithium supply chain. So from the left side, we can see in global lithium reserves by country, it's really like a resource concentrate industry. The top 5 countries like Chile, Argentina, Bolivia, US, Australia just cover more than 85% of the global resource. So that make lithium industry is really need to pay attention to the geopolitical factor. If we see the story from Indonesia for the nickel, for the cobalt from DRC, that's a long story. And also recently for the lithium story from Zimbabwe's restriction. So this is the things we must pay attention to. And for the supply side, we can see right now, except from China, Australia and Chile still the mainstream and also lead the way of the global supply of those 2 countries, just account for 40% of the supply, global supply. And in here, one thing I want to highlight is the position of China in the global supply chain. China is definitely a quite dominant country for lithium industry because we have the really full value chain of the lithium from the mineral side. We have spodumene, the pedolite branding, and also for have a large capacity of lithium refiner to the cathode material to more downstream OEM and also energy storage manufacturer. But for the resource side, still China is have high dependency for the spodumene resource from Australia and for the lithium carbonate from Chile. It's about 70%. So that's actually the reason why all the Chinese smelters or the downstream cathode makers are really pay attention to the supply chain security to other country and try to change their strategy for sourcing from different country to control the risk. But anyway, Chinese smelters and cathode makers actually hold a very open attitude to the overseas supplies and very actively to sourcing from different country. So I think that's a really great point for the cooperation of Brazil or other country to lithium downstream industry. Okay, so for here, when we're talking about the supply flexibility of the lithium, I think 3 points. The first is about the price. So when the price is getting high, like the situation right now, when the spot price is higher than the cash flow of most of the producer, especially for high cost producer like lepidolite operation, the ideal capacity will be restart really quick and to spot the supply of the lithium mine in Chinese market. And the second part would be more a long run influence about the technology. For example, for Chile with the DLE technology, they can extract the larger volume with higher frequency and less water consumption. Even this technology is still developing, but we think it's definitely will reshape the landscape of lithium supply globally in a very long run. The second part is about the inventory. Actually, in China, each segment of the lithium industry are very sensitive to the price and the inventory, and they will adjust the inventory very quickly, react really quickly according to the spot price. For example, if the price going up, just reduce the inventory, and price going down, rebuild the inventory, etc. So if you are like study the price fluctuation of lithium in China, I think inventory will be a really key factor should monitor too. So for SMM, actually we do the primary research to the inventory level from the smelter, from the cathode maker, from trader, from more downstream segment to each to 3 segments, and also to weekly monitor the inventory. And also in Chinese market, we know GFX is very important. The future price will get very great influence in the spot price in China, and sometimes GFX price will also, the changes of GFX price, the one factor will be the SMM inventory. Okay, so I think this presentation will more focus on the lithium salt fundamentally, and the key factor influence the price fluctuation. So in here, this is our monthly and also more long-run forecast to the China monthly lithium carbonate production divided in recycling, lepidolite, solid spodumene, etc. So this kind of production data we will revise and just to improve monthly, make it more closer to the real market transaction in the supply situation. So if you see the chart on the left, you can see actually the supply in the Chinese market right now is quite flat. Like in April and May, it's only increased like 3% or 2%. That's because of that's a lot of factor behind that. The first, in the supply side, I think most people will be focused on the uncertainty of the like lepidolite mine in Jiangxi province suspended in last year, middle of last year, because of the license issue. Until now, it's also still in the like suspended situation. And right now, markets have many news, but for SMM, we will project the mine will be restart in the Q4 of 2026. So for lepidolite mine in Jiangxi actually take 10% of the total supply in domestic Chinese market. So is one part of a cut for the supply side. But this part of the cut actually be offset by continued growth and run up by Chinese projects, and also because of the very high price, quite high price right now. So very many overseas resources enter in Chinese markets. So so one thing I want to mention is about the LC price, why the price will like double compared to last year. So one reason is about definitely the very strong downstream demand driven by energy storage part, which we will talk later in detail. And also because of current spot price is quite high, so it's bring up more profit to the smelters. And so smelters will just increase their operation rate to operate more. to earn the money in this period. So cause the supply and the production is like run up stably. Yeah. So let's us take a look of the demand side. So we do the forecast into 2027 for energy vehicle, energy system, and also consumer market. So I think energy vehicle and the storage would be the main focus. So for energy vehicle part, actually we will see it's a really resilient market. When we talk about China's growth rate of energy vehicle sales volume, you can see that's quite slowed down, but still increase, mainly because of the first is in China right now, the energy vehicle penetration rate is relatively high right now. And instead of rapid expansion by OEM, those kind of strategy, the demand for replacement of old car, subsidy and the products upgrade will be the main drivers for the sales volume growth. And so the market is looking for better products, better car model, and also better technology right now instead of rapid expansion. So right now, I think China's OEM strategy is to explore further penetration into lower tier markets. For example, the car over 30,000 RMB, those kind of car with the LFP battery. So that is part of the strategy to increase the sales volume. And for energy vehicle parts, that's a quite impressive number. In 2026, we forecast that will be 56% of the increase. So especially for China, I think mainly it's because of the policy benefit. For example, we have the capacity subsidy for the energy storage manufacturer, and also for the projects to increase the IRR rate, and also a very strong investment environment to the grid infrastructure, renewable projects, and also the innovation application like AI. And also we see in the other market like Latin America or Middle East also accelerate your deployment of energy storage. So in here, you can see this is our global outlooks to 2030 for the production of lithium carbonate. Until 2030, we suppose will be like 3.7 million tons of the lithium carbonate production, and over 75 is come from China. And in the supply side, in 2030, we will see the demand for BESS will take more share and takes more room, even can be compared with energy vehicle demand. So for the last part, we will main focus on the price. So I think maybe that's the most of people's focus for the lithium price. So I think for SMM in lithium industry, just battery grade lithium carbonate and hydroxide would be the most widely used price point for both domestic producer and overseas, like miners or battery makers. They will use SMM lithium carbonate as the index or benchmark to do the transaction. So when we see the trends of last 2 years, in 2025, I would say that's quite flat because of the oversupply of the market. The price reached to the lowest points of recent years, but things just changes in the next half of 2025. Actually, in the middle of year, since the news from the Jiangxi province for the lepidolite just come up. One hand is indeed cut the supply in market. Another thing is it raised up a lot market sentiment. So that will react very fast in GFAX, and the GFAX price just surge. and also linked with the spot price. And also at the half end of 2025, we'll reach out to the deadline of energy storage, like integrate to the grid. So the demand is super great for the energy storage. When we do the investigation to the battery cell maker in China, at that period, the operation rate of the top 5 battery cell maker is around 80% to even 120%. But why have 120? It's because even some of the battery cell maker need to purchase the battery cell to meet the projects. So that's basically 2 of the main reasons of the surge of the spot price in for lithium carbonate. And for this year still surge a lot because of back and forth news for lepidolite mine and also Zimbabwe's restriction, etc. So we can see the main, actually, I think the main delta is about the supply, the uncertainty in supply side because of geopolitical factor. Okay, so we do the forecast in both short term and long term. For short term forecast, actually recently we are quite bearish for the lithium price. That is not because the demand is not good. Actually, the fundamental is good enough, but we can see in the markets because of the warrants, warrant inventory in the GFAX increase. So the spot liquidity just be flexible. So markets see more deliverable material is available in the market. So the supply is not that tight right now. So most of the downstream will hold we can see attitude to purchase the material. So that's the reason why we think recently might have slightly dropped down to the lithium carbonate, lithium hydroxide, as well as the lithium ore price. But like in long run, actually we do the forecast into 2030, and just a picture to share our daily update, monthly forecast to the balance sheet, and also combine with the price forecast. To summarize, actually we think in 2026 will be a deficit year. Definitely, I think this becomes like common sense in the markets. We calculate all the projects, supply projects in China, and also depends on the downstream, for example, targets, installation volume for energy vehicle, the forecast for sales volume. Then we break down to the consumption, use unit consumption to break down to each material like LFP, MCN, LiPF6, etc. Each material's demand. Then break down to the consumption to the lithium carbonate to build this sheet. Then in this year we will see there will be a 49,000 tons of deficit this year. But in next year, in 2027, we will see a little bit oversupply, very limited volume for 1,400 metric tons of oversupply, which is a type balance. So for the price, we will combine with all the balance, fundamental level, the cost, the policy, and other market sentiment. We think this year, for the battery grade lithium carbonate, the average price in 2026 will be around $2,500 USD, which is 17,400 RMB. And for 2027 will be around 2,600 USD. So definitely like a very promising and good news for the miner and good for the market to booming again. Yes, so basically this is my sharing and analysis to the Chinese lithium chemical market. And for SMM, this time we visit Brazil, and also in those several years we are expanding more operation, more office in for example Indonesia, Korea, and also Africa, Zimbabwe, as well as we plan to have the office in Brazil to get closer to the market, to have more chance to communicate with the international market, to like overall the global research. So thanks for everyone for listening, for the attention. If you have any question or any interest to the data present, or just simply interested to the people, how people think in Chinese market, just feel free to contact me through email or WhatsApp or LinkedIn. Thanks everyone.
Hi, John. Congratulations.
Hello, yes.
Thank you and congratulations for the presentation. Would you have a longer term price projection to share with us?
For our research, usually we will, in every month, we will do next 12 months as rolling forecast. And then in the middle of the year and the end of the year, we will do the forecast until 2030. But it also depends on customers' demand. If you need like a longer forecast until, for example, 2035 or even 2040, we can definitely help to.
But what would be your opinion? Do you believe 2007 projection is going to be stable for some years?
Actually, in long run, we are a little bit short for the lithium price. Since I think lithium price is quite dynamic. When the price is high, more and more projects run up, restart, and also overseas results just flow into Chinese market, and that will cause the like surplus into markets and just cut a lot of projects in the right side of the cost curve out, exit. But after one round, anyway, the price will surge again because the market lack of the supply. Then just another round, just depends on this kind of pattern.
Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Okay, I think if anyone have any question further, just feel free to email me. Okay. Thank you. Thanks everyone, and thanks Brazil, because feel the hospitality of Brazilian. Very happy to be here, and for sure we will visit here more often. Thank you.
Thank you for your participation.